Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Horror Movie Review with Daniel Richardson. And yeah, this week, man, we're hitting newer stuff. I'm trying to hit a little bit of everything. Some of the classics, some of the ones that are considered instant classics. And this week, we're just going back a couple of years to hit the movie Unsane. So before we get started, of course, you know how we did on this show. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We got some horror movie news. Alright, so I read an interview not long ago with Jason Blum that apparently they are, it's been talked about for a little bit now, but you know, they're pushing forward, they're going to bring back the Paranormal Activity franchise. And they're going to be shooting the 7th film in the franchise. Apparently they got the guy who did Happy Death Day. Man, I'm blanking on his name. Christopher Landon. And apparently Christopher Landon, he's going to be, I guess he did, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Paranormal Activity fan. I think they're alright. Like, I like 1's okay. I think 3 is probably my favorite. 3 and 4 were good, I thought. They were dumb in certain aspects, but overall, they were fun movies to watch. Beyond that, I didn't watch the marked ones. I never seen part 2. I did watch Ghost Dimensions, which was supposed to be the final one in the franchise. But either way, the one thing I thought was really funny from, like, the takeaway from this interview was, they're like, alright, we're getting a Paranormal Activity 7. And he's like, no. We're not calling it Paranormal Activity 7. It's just going to be the 7th movie in the franchise. And I'm like, I love how in any, movie genre or whatever, how like people get embarrassed when you get past a certain number of sequels and they're like, can't call it that anymore. Like even Rocky did it. Like they did Rocky 5 and they're like, I call it Rocky Balboa. It's like, well, we could just call it Rocky 6. Like, no, call it Rocky Balboa. You know what you're doing. Just stop. Because I'm even going to get into the Rambo franchise. That was all fucked up anyway. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is just funny because, like, Jason was the only one that had the balls to be like, yeah, Friday 13 Part 8. And then even after that, they couldn't, but that was more of a legal issue as opposed to, like, a title issue. I'm assuming. Who knows? I guess when you're, doing, like, it's Halloween, 37, everybody's like, 37. But, I don't know, this kind of a funny thing, showing its age, and they don't like it. 4 seems to be the magic number. I'm not saying it can't be part 5. There have been part 5. It just seems like now, once you get to a certain number, there's like, put a subtitle in there. We don't need to say the number anymore. It's ridiculous. So I did an interview this past week with Bernard Rose. He's the director of the first Candyman. I'll be honest, I don't know this dude's work outside of Candyman. Like he was dropping names of movies he was doing after Candyman. I mean, I think he's just strictly a British director or whatever, like over in Britain. So I didn't know half the shit he was talking about, but anyways, Candyman, it was just kind of funny, the interview, so I recommend checking it out. It was on I read it on Bloody Disgusting. I think it was from somewhere else, like another podcast or something like that. But anyways, when he was talking to him, it was just funny because he talked about how, when Candyman was first being made, like, no one gave a shit about it. Like, no one was bugging him about it. It was no big deal. And then as soon as it made money, every producer that had their hands kind of in it were just like, nope, now we know what's best, and they were trying to like, change and shift the course of the franchise or whatever. And but he actually finally dropped like what his idea for Candyman 2 is going to be. Now I'll be first to admit I have not seen 2 or 3. I just didn't. I didn't really think I needed to. I felt like 1 was really good. I never heard anybody talk about how 2 is just the greatest or anything like that, or 3. So I'm just like, probably skip them and I'll be alright. Anyways, which I may watch them now if I can get a hold of them, just in case if they are needed for this new Candyman's coming out, so I definitely want to see it. But anyways, when they were talking to him about, what direction he wants to take it in, his initial idea for the Candyman series, I'm not even sure if you'd call it Candyman, in the second one, he was wanting to take other Clive Barker shorts and kind of put them in the same universe, but make it more of an anthology, which I thought was great. In fact, this second one was going to be the Midnight Meat Train, which we would eventually get that movie like in 2008, I think, with Bradley Cooper of all people. Kind of weird thing, there was a time when Bradley Cooper was just doing these like weird, like low budget horror movies that come out randomly before he, broke out, The Hangover. But anyways, yeah, I guess Midnight Meat Train is going to be the original sequel that Bernard Rose had in mind, and the producer's like, yeah, we're not doing that. Shut that shit down right now. So, yeah. he didn't seem bitter about it. Once again, he really didn't want to do a sequel. He was just kind of locked in to do one. And so when he pitched it, which it may have been his reason to get out of it too, but he did some kind of Beethoven fucking biopic that I've never heard of until I read that interview. So I'm sure it'd be great. Up next, we got a show coming out. This is going to be on the channel Epix, which unfortunately I don't watch. I remember seeing all the Epix previews on DVDs. Like, remember there for a minute, like, Epix was everywhere. Kevin Smith was doing, like, promos and shit for it. Anyways, a show called Chapel White. Chapel White. Something like that. It's based on the short story Jerusalem's Lot that Stephen King did in his, I want to say it's in the Night Shift book, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to say Night Shift. If I'm wrong, correct me down below. But, we all know, of course, the town Jerusalem's Lot would go on to become the haven for vampires. But in this story, it was completely different because in this story, it was a guy and his manservant coming to the small town. He inherits the house. The house winds up being haunted. Or as it could be in his head. When I read it, I took it as, no, the house is just straight up haunted. But they do play it like, it can go either way. This one seems to be a little bit different. And of course, it's called Chapel White because that's the name of the house or the corner that he lives on. No, he lives on Preacher's Corner. I don't know. It was something like that. Chapel White was something. Anyways, in this one, it's going to be a single father, and it takes place like the 1800s or whatever. A single father and his 3 kids move back to this town, and then, of course, they're befriended by, I don't know if she's like a neighborhood friend or a childhood friend or what, but against her mother's wishes, she ends up, helping them out, and she ends up, I think she's like a writer or something, I don't know, but she's doing something, she's uncovering the family secrets. Look, I'm in, like, we got the Stephen King, I'll always give it a shot. It may not always be great, but I'll always give it a shot. I just wish it wasn't on Epix, but, I'm sure I can Hulu 1, 2, 3 that shit, and we'll figure it out, so anyway, yeah, Chapel White. Let me know how to pronounce that, too, down in the comment section. So then up next, we talked about a few weeks ago, we talked about how Scott Derrickson is no longer directing the Doctor Strange sequel, and, they parted ways, and then Sam Raimi kind of showed up and decided, like, I'll do it, which, like, I love Sam Raimi. I will always be indebted, to him for, well, really the Evil Dead trilogy, and that's really it. There is nothing else I really like that he's directed. Darkman was okay. Oh, and he did Crime Wave. I forgot. Crime Wave was really good. I feel like that's a Coen Brothers movie more than a Sam Raimi. Doesn't matter. I'm not huge on Sam Raimi outside of, like, what he's known for to horror fans. And, I mean, you can like Drag Me Hell all you want. I don't care. I didn't really care for it personally. But I love fucking Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Unpopular opinion, I didn't care for Evil Dead 2. Oh, look at that! How's that sticking to you? Yeah. Anyways, but he came in to do the movie. Well, in a weird twist of fate, apparently he was going to be, I don't know if he's directing or not, he's going to be producing a movie called Bermuda, which is going to be some sort of, I guess, creature feature down in the Bermuda Triangle. Which, once again, I'd be interested to check it out. Well, Scott Derrickson has now swapped places with him, and he's directing Bermuda now. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot of info on Bermuda, except that, these people are going to investigate why the Bermuda Triangle is all, responsible for all these disappearances or whatever. And, yeah, so Scott Derrickson still. And I think all about Scott Derrickson is I feel like he probably works better on the small budget or on the small scale. Like, Exorcism, Emily Rose, Sinister, these are great movies. Now, I didn't see the first Doctor Strange, and I know people like it. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong completely. But to me, I'm always going to be that fan of his low-budget horror work. So, you know what? I'd much rather watch Bermuda than his version of Doctor Strange. That's just me personally, but I'm not a superhero guy. I know it's ironic because I'm wearing a Punisher shirt. This was a hand-me-down, and I'm not wasteful. And I like Punisher, because he did like superheroes. He's a fucking vigilante. There's a difference. Anyway, so finally, sorry, Corona's kicking in right now. Too soon. Anyways, in the final bit of news, we got Universal has announced in the wake of The Invisible Man, which actually we're going to be watching later on today. I know YouTube's weird because we film a week ahead of time and certain things. Anyway, I'm watching The Invisible Man today. Of course, Lee Wendell did that. How do you pronounce his last name? Wendell? Doesn't matter. he directed it, became a success. You know, it's done good for itself. Well, his former partner, James Wan, has decided he's going to produce a monster movie coming up for Universal. And it didn't come out to say it's going to be a Universal monster movie. He wants to do something fresh, but he wants it to be in the vein of the Universal monster films. And I'm like, you know, how long has it been since we actually had a new Universal monster? Like, isn't that weird? Like, it was just like the core group that came out in the 30s and 40s, Wolfman, sorry, was like your stable. They waited a decade, they incorporated the Creature from Black Lagoon, and then it just like stopped. Now, I'm not saying Universal didn't make monster movies after that, but it never made anything on that level or even one to incorporate it in there. And I always thought like that'd be what I would do. They're just like, Daniel, it's time for you, you know, we need to relaunch our Universal monster series. I'm like, well, do a different creature, do a different monster, do a different whatever, and then somehow connect it to the previous lore. Bring, you know, have it be like, oh yeah, by the way, Frankenstein's great-great-grandson is, you know, the fucking friend of the guy who's with this new creature or monster or whatever. I mean, you can tie the story in however you want without making it very obvious and fucking hitting us over the head with it. But anyways, I guess this movie's going to be, he kind of compared it to Disturbia, where it's just going to be a bunch of teenagers, and they notice that they have a neighbor that is doing something, he's, you know, creating a creature or something in his basement, and when they go to investigate, the creature gets out. Horror movie shit happens. You know, when it's James Wan producing, it's always hit or miss. Like, it always has an awesome vibe to it, but few directors can really nail what he does. Whereas when it's James Wan directing, you're just like, oh, fuck, awesome. Fucking James Wan, like, he knows what he's doing. So, I mean, this could go either way. I'll check it out anyways, because once again, I'm pretty loyal to James Wan, except for superhero shit. Like, I have no desire to watch Aquaman. I never will. Don't care. But other than that, I'll definitely check this out. And it would be neat to see if they do maybe bring in a new monster, or if it's somehow like a backdoor, like he's trying to slide it past us, like, oh, this is actually a remake of something. Maybe it is a Frankenstein remake, because I can't compare it to Frankenstein. You know, this guy's creating a creature in his basement. I'm like, that's what we need. Just update the shit. Don't have to be an exact remake set back in the old days. Fucking make Frankenstein today. Dracula today. All the stuff today. They said The Invisible Man, it did pretty good. Do a movie set modern. I don't know. That's what I would do. Alright, moving on now. We now are going to the Villain Showdown. Last week, we finally broke into the quarterfinals. We had the results now for the last first round match. And it came down to the wire, but Leatherface has defeated Jack Torrance. That's right. Chainsaw beats Axe in this case right here, and Leatherface now moves on to the quarterfinals. The next quarterfinal match is so fucking goofy. We got Pinhead going up against Annie Wilkes. You fucking kidding me? Yeah, that's a thing. This is happening right now. Pinhead, of course, he's from the Hellraiser series. Once again, we can run down his quick strengths and weaknesses. Weapon of choice is just supernatural powers. Dude's got chains and shit that pops out of nowhere. Strengths is, I mean, he's a demon of hell. If you kill him or vanquish him, he just goes back to hell. It's like in South Park, you know. It's like, where do you think I was going to go? Cleveland? Or is it Denver? Doesn't matter. You get the joke. Kill him, he goes right back to hell anyways. Weaknesses, though, is like literally anybody, any age, any intelligent levels can like solve that puzzle box and then like literally send him back quickly. Like he's just like, you open the box and like, oh shit. And they're just like, oh no, you opened it again, and he goes in. Like he gets like fucked over by that box quite a bit throughout the series. So Annie Wilkes from Misery and Castle Rock, if you want to include that little season in there as well. Weapon of choice, I guess a sledgehammer. Like she's kind of synonymous with that sledgehammer, even though she didn't really. I don't know if she does. She had that one guy knocking down the stairs. Forgot about that. The sheriff came to investigate. And Stephen King does that quite a bit, because when you're reading, you think he's going to be a main character, but in the movie, it was just like, wow, this guy's getting a lot of scenes, and he's just going to get shot in the end. Like, all that was pretty much for nothing. Awesome. Anyways, Annie Wilkes, strength, she's psychotic. You know, doesn't know karate, but she knows crazy. And she's a big gal. I'm not being racist. I'm a fat guy myself, but it's like, yeah, if you're a crippled guy in a bed, she can go toe to toe with you, and does so. So weaknesses, I mean, I guess she's just mortal. that's always been her weakness. What I said last time. Somehow she pulled out a victory on fucking Jason Voorhees. But yeah, I mean, she only had one movie because she got killed. There was no Misery 2, The Return of Annie. That would have been crazy. Can you imagine like just doing Friday the 13th, but with Annie Wilkes instead? Like, Annie Takes Manhattan. Anyway, so yeah, Pinhead versus Annie Wilkes. Guys, like always, this is in your hands. Drop those comments down below. Let me know who wins. Let me know why. Give me her reasons. Oh my God, Annie keeps going. I would love to hear the reason how Annie keeps going. So there you guys go. So now we're going to move on to the part where we're going to talk about the upcoming horror films that are coming out. Excuse me. Next week, we got A Quiet Place 2. Quiet Place Part 2. I'll have to part out because, you know, we're sticklers for details around here. Quiet Place 2 basically takes place after the events of Part 1, and Emily Blunt and her kids. I don't even know their names. I love that movie. Quiet Place is great. I don't remember people's names in that movie. Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, son, deaf girl, kid who didn't quite make it, baby. Those are the characters in that movie to me. Old man yelling in the fucking woods who gets killed. Description, that's all I have. Anyway, Emily Blunt and the kids end up deciding they're going to leave the household and they're going to go out into the world. But like any fucking apocalypse movie since the beginning of time, we all know that the monsters aren't the real monsters, it's the people. Like I said, I was kind of on the fence about this. Not necessarily a sequel, but John Krasinski directing it. I just feel like, could you imagine if Jordan Peele would have done Get Out 2 before he did Us? And it wouldn't have been as good, and you would have been like, ugh. And then he does Us to try to make up for it. It's like Seth MacFarlane doing Ted 2. Like, I like Ted 2, but clearly it wasn't great. And guess what? He doesn't make movies anymore. He's back on TV. I just kind of wish John Krasinski could have went on to do something else first before he would come back to the world of Quiet Place 2. Now, granted, the kids would have been really older, and it probably wouldn't have worked out as well, but then that's why you write a different story for it. So, like I said, there's that. But, with that said, it does look good. Like, you know, I like the other, they're doing the Godfather 2. Like, I hate straight-up prequels for the most part. There isn't very many that's good. With The Thing being an exception, there ain't too many prequels that I like at all. But the movies that try to do the Godfather 2, where you kind of shoehorn a prequel in there, and you do the sequel, where you see what happens after the movie, and then you do a little bit of flashback and cover a lot of backstory, and it looks like they're going to do it here. You know, you get the outbreak, you get the initial alien invasion, if you will, and then of course we're getting the what happened after that. And it has Cillian Murphy in it, and that's always a plus for me. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to check it out. We're actually going to the theaters to watch it because, I mean, it looks good. I want to see it. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I hope it does well because I don't know. Krasinski's a really good director. And I feel like he's the kind of guy, like, unlike Jordan Peele, who has unapologetically made his home horror, I don't think Krasinski's the same way. I feel like this is going to bomb and he's going to do some kind of, like, action Tom Clancy bullshit or some kind of weird comedy. He's going to do, like, Leatherheads 2 or something. Leatherheads, there's a reference for you. Anybody remembers that movie? Anyway, so, I don't know. I want to see it, and I just hope it does well. I have my fingers crossed, but unfortunately, in the world of horror, just because you want something to do good doesn't mean it's going to. So, you know, there's that. And then up next, the other movie that's coming out, this is more on a smaller scale. This is probably going to be a very limited release. I am talking about Deerskin. I don't know if I watch his Letterkenny out there or not, but, like, literally every time I hear Deerskin, I just want to say Dickskin. Because of Dickens. But, you know, if you see the show, you get the reference. If not, go watch Letterkenny. Anyways, Deerskin, this is what the plot is. From what I've gathered from watching the trailer, and, you know, this dude buys a deerskin jacket and then becomes consumed by it. Like, not possessed, not like it got any kind of demonic powers. He's just obsessed with his own jacket, and it ends up, like, making, like, snuff films for reasons, and that's it. The trailer is batshit crazy. It starts off very weird and odd and quirky and like, what the fuck's going on? And it just goes into like horror. Like out of nowhere, he's just killing people. And there's this weird kind of humor that's laid on top of it. It's directed by the guy, his name is, I can't pronounce his last name. It's like Quentin Deroux? I don't know. He did Rubber, which I've never seen Rubber. I feel like Rubber's the movie that like I'd rather just know the trailer because the trailer is awesome. The concept is awesome. There's no way the movie lives up to that trailer. It feels like old school Grindhouse. You know, you watch those trailers, you're like, oh, these are awesome. And you watch the movie, you're like, wow, that sucked. I feel like Rubber's the same way. I'm sure Rubber's horrible, but the concept's so fun. and unique or whatever. That's just like, nah. So, anyways, he did that. And he did a movie called like Wrong Cops or something like that, which I think it started out as a short, and then it was branched out. But the short had like Marilyn Manson playing a kid. Like he was like Marilyn Manson in his 30s or 40s, and not like skinny, gothed out, awesome cross-dressing Manson, like Fat Manson from like 2010s. And he, once again, I'm fat, so I can fat shame a little bit. And he was like playing like a high school kid who gets this weird cop that just shows up and starts like talking to him. And it wasn't funny. Like I was pumped, like, oh shit, Manson's in a movie, cool. And then I watched it like, wow, this is just bad. Like this is just really bad. And then it got turned into an actual movie, and I saw the trailer, and the trailer wasn't funny either. I was like, fuck. But apparently the dude's doing something right. I will say, I think Rubber looks like the best trailer, but I'm sure the movie sucks. This seems like the trailer's weird, but the movie may be kind of decent. I don't know. But Deerskin, there you go. Comes out next week. A town near you, and then if not, you're checking on VOD or Family Video. That's really all we got left now, isn't it? We don't bootleg. You can go ahead and bootleg this one now. All right. We're now going to move on to our main event. I am talking about 2018's Unsane, where Claire Foy gets herself admitted into a psych ward, and that's not the worst of it, because now she's going to come face to face with her nightmare inside the psych ward. Two things about this movie before I ever watched it. Now, I'm not talking about this pack. I've seen it before. I watched it when it first came out. One, the premise seemed really interesting, because I will say the trailer was really walking that line. The movie, not so much. And maybe because I've already seen it once, and the second time you watch it, maybe because you already know. But I remember the first time you watch it, and especially in the trailer, it makes you wonder, like, is she just crazy? Like, they do play that up quite a bit. Like, you know what, she may just be nuts. And she's, maybe what you're seeing is, because she does have those moments where she sees what's not really there, and she freaks out. And so you can already tell she's got, she's troubled. I'll get into the reasons and everything why. But it really did kind of play that up. So I was really interested about that, because 9 times out of 10, if a movie's like, blur the line between reality and real, it's like, no, it's not. It's hauntings, or it is what you think it is. If there's a demon on the other side of a different dimension, it is a demon on the other side of a different dimension. He's just coming over or whatever. There's no blurring of anything. To me, the first movie I saw that really was just like, holy shit, was The Lighthouse, because that was or like even like Jacob's Ladder did that, where it's just like, what the fuck's going on? Carnival Souls, another movie that blurs it. Those movies blur the line. You're not sure if you're really seeing it or if the girl's crazy, and I like that. And this trailer made you think that. Now, when you see a movie, right from the get-go, you're like, nah, there's something up here. Like, she clearly has issues, but she's telling the truth. Like, she does not belong there. The person she says stalking her there. It's, it's all there. Second thing was, this movie was shot on an iPhone. Yes, someone used their iPhone. And not just somebody. That's the crazy thing. It's not just somebody shot a movie on an iPhone. Steven Soderbergh did it. And it has Matt Damon in it at one point. Wow. Gives you hope. For all you indie directors out there, you're like, you know what? I'm using crappy equipment. Guess what? Use an iPhone, and you're on the par with Unsane. Which I thought was unique. What people may be like, it's just a gimmick. Like, I don't know. It turns out really cool. Like, I think the look of the film looks really good. It is different. It is like you won't lie and be like, it's like using a real camera. No, it's not. You can clearly tell it's on an iPhone, but it gives it a really unique vibe. I think it works for this movie, because this movie isn't as psychological as it wants you to think it is. It's very straightforward. There's nothing twisty about it. The plot does, but as far as the movie yourself, you're seeing it through this crazy lady's eyes, but at the same time, it adds a bit of realism. It's very, 2000 documentary, you know what I mean? Like, whereas people say, Leatherface was very documentary shot, or style was very documentary-like. It looked real and gritty. But for the 70s, same thing, but for, the 20-noughts, or whatever you call that decade. That was last decade. So, the basic plot is this girl, and I'll just go chronological for you instead of doing the reveals and everything. She was being stalked by this guy. She was a hospice, home care giver person, provider. Anyways, when this guy's dying, his crazy son just grows attached and just following her, sending her flowers, sending her like a million texts in one night. I love you, we belong together. Very creepy. She gets a restraining order against him, doesn't do anything. She moves to this town. They're in Pennsylvania somewhere. And so anyway, when she moves to Pennsylvania, she leaves her mom behind. Her mom, played by Amy Irving. And then, of course, what happens is she goes to talk to, and to me, this was the scariest part. The stalker stuff is just typical Lifetime bullshit. But this part to me was the scary part, was she goes to talk to this psychiatrist. She goes to this facility, talks to a psychiatrist. And so whenever she just, they ask, she's suicidal or whatever, she's like, yeah, she's had thoughts in the past, but, nothing, to be concerned about. She feels like she's, on the path to recovery, she's feeling better. They go ahead and just have her involuntarily committed to the asylum. It's an asylum. It's what it is. It's a psychiatric ward. And they have her, committed. And you find out that she befriends this person inside. And you don't find this out till the end. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. For whatever reason you're watching a review for a movie you haven't seen, you're an idiot, so fuck off. But literally, she befriends this person who tells her that, the place is shady. And basically what it is they're just trying to stay afloat. So if they find anybody who says they're suicidal or hints at it that they can kind of use against them, they kind of trick them into signing themselves in, and the insurance picks it up. Because the insurance company don't care about you. They just care about, they're doing their thing, here's the money, whatever. And then the hospital's just like, oh, we're getting the money? Perfect. They're crazy. Keep them here until the insurance runs out. And that's what they do. It's a big racket, big scam. And so while you're there, you're like, I'm not crazy, but that's what crazy people say. And so no one believes you, and instead, when you get belligerent, they get to use force and tie you down and keep you medicated. And then when your insurance runs out, they're like, oh, you're cured. And they just kind of shove you out. To me, that's way more frightening than what this girl's about to go through. Like, that to me, even watch it now knowing the story already. Because when you first watch it, you don't quite know. And she's like, oh my God, they made a mistake. It was a weird mistake, and now she's being admitted. And it's just like, holy shit. But then when you watch the second time, it's like, no, that's fucking terrifying. Like, I don't know why that creeps with me, but it's just like, I don't know, the idea of you tell people you're not crazy, and they're like, yeah, sure, Daniel, get back in your room. And I'm like, I don't belong here. And they don't. And then when you try to forcefully get yourself out, that gives them the right to wrestle you down, jab the needle in you, and then put you in a straitjacket and throw you in the basement somewhere where you're forgotten. And then when people try to help you out, they're like, well, by law, he's attacking people. He's showing that he is a danger to himself and others. We have the right to hold him this many, whatever. And each time you keep trying to, break out or try to, argue, they're like, well, clearly you're not getting the help you deserve. Tack on some more time. Like, it's really fucked up, right? Like, it's just like, holy shit. However, her stalker has followed her all the way here, and when he finds out that she got, taken in to this insane asylum, he kills, a dude who apparently had a doctorate. Like, he kills somebody to where he can pretty much have the credentials, and he takes that guy's identity, which I'm like, did he really have to search long for that? Like, how did he do that? Like, he glossed over that shit pretty quickly. He just shows up under a different name, and then you find out at the end, like, yeah, he killed somebody. It's like, man, how did he find out? Like, he put a search out there, like, hey, are you a healthcare provider who does not work there? Great. Bam, you're dead. Hey, I'm George now. And they're like, okay, yeah, come on in. We do background checks here. So anyway, he gets a job there, and of course, initially you're thinking, like, does he know her? Does, not? Turns out he does, and yeah, she's not crazy. But once again, the fact that she's flipping out because, she's like, holy crap, my stalker's here. She goes crazy, and then they have to keep sedating her and keep tying her up and locking her down. And then he's fucking with her because at one point he gives her, the wrong kind of medication on purpose. So then, even though she's trying to play it straight, she's like, okay, I'll just, straight and narrow. She goes crazy because of this, medication, and it just gets out of hand from there. This movie really, the first time I watched it, I gave it the okay. I was like, you know what, it's not bad. It is what it is. Liked it better the second time. I think once again, because the first time you're just trying to figure out what's going on. You are just trying to be like, okay, where are we at? What's going on? Who's who? What are we doing here? When you already know all that, you go back for a second time, you can really enjoy the movie for what it is. And I feel like, Lifetime movie aside, and I'm not being disrespectful or derogatory by saying that. I'm just saying you can put this movie on the Lifetime channel and nobody would know the difference. Like, seriously, it's the same woman in peril because of a crazy ex-boyfriend, and it's a step above. Like, it's better than the typical, like, he's just parked in front of your house and what? No, it's like, no, you got committed to insane asylum and he's the new doctor there, so Yeah, you're fucked. But I'm just saying, it's to me, I call these kind of movies Lifetime movies because it is. You can basically watch this on Lifetime channel, and the core audience of Lifetime would not bat an eye. It'd be like, yeah, this is our regular programming right here. But it's better written, more gory. I will say that because that's the thing when you're watching it. It's like, yeah, you can sort of call it horror, I guess. It's definitely more psychological thriller. But at the end, there's enough bloodshed. You're like, holy shit! I was not expecting that. Claire Foy, Claire Foy. She does a really good job. I really hope to see her kind of break out. She kind of reminds me a lot of Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story. In fact, the first time I see the poster, because it's her with multiple, faces, because she's going crazy on the cover on the poster. I thought it was Sarah Paulson. It's not until you start watching, you're like, okay, it's not Sarah Paulson, but she looks like her. But she's a good actress nonetheless. The only other standout I can think of is Juno Temple. I thought she did really well. She's an actress that I think is very talented, but it's like she's yet to really get that big breakout yet. It's almost like she got passed over for all these other actresses for so long, and I just feel like Chloe Moretz and I don't know, Ellen Page and all these other girls just kind of like, nope, we're front and center, and she's just kind of getting put in back. But it's like she's really good. Unfortunately, she just doesn't, isn't really given the roles or given the platform to really shine yet. But you watch indie movies and you see her there. She did a movie called the Teapot, Brass Teapot, and she did really good in that. And I kept thinking like, all right, this is gonna be her break, and it never was, unfortunately. Anyways, she does really good here. And I can't remember the guy's name. She has the roommate, the one that's the investigator. He's the black guy. He's the reporter that you find out at the end that was actually going in to get the scoop on this place, and he gets himself abducted. He does really good. Like those main three inmates kills it. And then of course Matt Damon with his it wasn't really a cameo, it's just a special guest appearance, I guess you could say, because he's in it for a good 2-3 minutes. But he plays a private detective that's also kind of helping her with her stalking problem. It's a flashback scene or whatever, and you just tell he's having fun with it. Like literally, it's just like Steven Soderbergh's like, "Hey, man, you want to come down and help me out with this movie real quick?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll come down there. I'll spend a Saturday down there helping you guys out." So, really good movie, like I said, and it has a cool kind of throwback vibe to it, from the way they do the freeze frame at the end with the credits. Just kind of has a 70s look to it. I dig that. Once again, the fact they shot on an iPhone, I think it looks incredible for this movie. I'm not saying an iPhone is your go-to for every movie ever. For a small, intimate horror film that deals with a psychiatric ward and psychosis of a woman who may or may not be going crazy, it works. Works pretty goddamn good. So, guys, if you have seen Unsane, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, see you next time.
Oh, shit. Didn't always run, sorry. Hi. Thank you for watching that video. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to our channel. All that good stuff you do right here on YouTube, go ahead and do it. Check out our other videos. Go to our playlist. We got episodes of TPS TV, Journey Through the Dark Side. We got a new show coming out, the horror movie review with Daniel Richardson. This guy. And of course, our short film, Entropy. You can find all that and more right here on YouTube. And then check out, yeah, look at that. All of our social media right there. And we don't just, copy and paste like the same post and put it on all. No, that's ridiculous. 3 different platforms, 3 different posts. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff you see on Twitter will not be the same stuff you see on Instagram. So there you go, right there. So be sure to get on, give us a follow and a like on all that right there. Keep up to date. Have you seen Unspeakable Acts yet? No? Come on. Pick you up the DVD right now. Links over there. Oh, yeah. It's only $7. $3 shipping and handling. And of course, if you've already seen it and you haven't seen the Public Domain Dungeon yet, boom, $5 DVD right there. So 5 S&P as well. Or sorry, 3 S&P as well. So there you go. Do that. And if you got the spare change, you want to hit us up, donate a little bit over here to TPS Productions. Our Patreon is right there. Oh, yeah. So that's all we... Oh, my God. Sorry. I'm getting fired, ain't I? Yeah, that's all we got. Thank you for watching.